Good evening, everyone. I am Engineer Suran Fernando, Chairman of the National Engineering Heritage Forum of ISF. I warmly welcome you to this public webinar organized by the National Engineering Heritage Forum. Today, we enjoy comfortable and efficient travel with highways, smooth roads, and modern vehicles like cars, buses, and trains. But over 100 years ago, before motor vehicles, people in Sri Lanka traveled on foot, on horseback, or in bullock carts. Back then, travel was much more difficult. Along the village paths of Sri Lanka, you can still find the remains of shelters called ambalams. These simple structures were built by villagers to give travelers a place to rest and protection from the weather. Ambalams offer a wealth of engineering accomplishments, providing valuable insights into ancient road networks, innovative timber preservation techniques, and creative construction methods. Sadly, many ambalams have decayed or disappeared over time, while some have been conserved by archaeology department or maintained by local villagers. Many face threats like pollution and vandalism. By preserving a few remaining ambalams, we ensure future generations can see and appreciate this part of our history. Today, we are lucky to have with us Dr. Jayala Pedrisinghe, a leading expert on ambalams and their engineering significance. Dr. Edrisinghe is a senior lecturer in the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Peradeniya with expertise in transport engineering and a special focus on engineering-related archaeology, ancient structures, road networks, and the engineering behind ambalams. Dr. Edrisinghe, with postgraduate studies at Ehime University, Japan, and Lund University, Sweden, has studied the materials, preservation methods, and structural features that made these shelters sustainable and resilient. With over 20 years of experience, Dr. Edrisinghe's work not only explores the engineering of ancient Sri Lankan infrastructure, but also shapes modern transportation systems. It's an honor, sir, to welcome Engineer Dr. Jayala Pedrisinghe. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Engineer Suran. Fernando, good evening, everyone. I indeed consider this as a great pleasure and a privilege and an honor to share some of my ideas and my experience about this very interesting topic, Ambalam. Ambalam became another rest stop of my research activities also.
So, Dr.
Doctor, you
Jayala,
are muted.
yes, you are muted.
Extremely sorry. I unmuted. I thought it is unmuted. Sorry for that. Well, let me repeat from the beginning. I consider this a great honor and a privilege and a pleasure to share my experience on this subject. Very interesting. Ambalam. Let me tell you a little bit about the background of this study. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay. Let me share my screen also. Yeah. Somebody sharing the screen, you may have to stop it, allowing me to share, please. Okay, great. A minute. I'm going to share this with the sound, share sound, okay, yes. Good. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, yes, Dr.
Okay.
Jayala.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, rest stops of the past at Ambalam. Now, how did I initiate this? As we engineers, mainly, I believe, there are non-engineers also in the forum I saw, we should be curious about what is happening in the world. As von Karman said, when great scientists study the world as it is, engineers should look at the way it has to change. So during COVID, when I did not have anything to do much, and without having any future expectation also because of the threat, I started reading a book about the old road networks in the world. So that triggered me an interest to look at what has happened to Sri Lankan roads. And in the journey, I found a very interesting book. I strongly recommend you if you have a time to read it, by Professor Indrani Munasinghe. I think she's a historian from Colombo University. She has written many books. The first book I read is about the ancient road network in Sri Lanka. In addition to that, when I started reading about this, I found this my place, Ambalam. So that became very interesting for me to search about Ambalam, and I started collecting information about Ambalam from various sources. And this, mind you, about 3 years old study, very infantry stage yet. And yeah, my computer stuck all of a sudden. Give me a minute. Things like this happen. Yeah. Okay, it's working. Something happened. Yeah, needless to say, we are a great nation. We have a great history. And all this history connected to technology also. After I started studying about this Ambalam, I downloaded 2 history books given for school children, grade 7 and grade 8. Both these books mention about a lot of historical structures in the country without mentioning much about the technology behind it. Let it be a stupa, let it be an irrigation system, let it be a road network. They talk only about the beauty or the connectivity or the people who constructed it, but without mentioning much about the technology. I think it is one of our responsibilities as technologically oriented people to look at the technological side also. We have a great Asian systems. Hope you know, this is the world's largest brick structure. It is a historical monument. It's the largest brick structure in the world, using over 90 million bricks. And then places like Yapahua, the steps, the beauty, the technology, and Watadage. And this is another very interesting structure. Galpalama, or the stone bridge. There are two stone bridges in the country, many stone bridges. This one. Many stone bridges. There's a slight delay in moving slides. Actually, this is the stone bridge in Mahakandarawa. There are 2 main stone bridges. One is in Anuradhapura, above Malwatu. Yeah, this is the Mahakandarawa one. This is fully intact. And it's 80 feet in length and 10 feet in width. And it's totally made of stones. 80 feet in length and 10 feet in width. There's slight delay in because I'm checking in another computer. Yeah. And you can find all the columns, beams, and slabs made out of stones. So that says a lot about our technical skill, how our ancient people knew how to calculate the right spacing. It has 42 columns of 12 by 12 inches fixed on rocks on the bed of the river. So that means Sri Lankan all technically oriented or technically experts should have had an idea of construction. This is the front or the top. Mr. Suran, can you see my screen? I think there's slight delay in my screen. Yeah, this is the top.
See clearly.
Yeah, this is the top surface. If you haven't been to this place, ladies and gentlemen, I strongly recommend you to be there. But very unfortunately, the directions are not given very clearly. Knowing there is a stone bridge for Palama, I had to ask from people. There were boats very, very small in size. So that is the technical significance given to these structures. Anyway, we are a great nation, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly, we should have had a great history, technically also. But what has happened to us? So with this interest of searching old road network, with the interest of searching for old materials used, I started studying about Ambalam, of course, during the COVID period. I found there are a lot of studies done about Ambalam. They were by archaeologists and historians. So I did not see much engineering or technological taste on these studies. They talk mainly about the beauty, they talk mainly about the location, they talk mainly about the builders, but not the building structure or building quality or building technology, etc. So that was the triggering factor for me to think about doing a study on Ambalam. When I started reading about Ambalam from various books, even the narrations for the directions were given in a narrative way. Go along 1 kilometer along this road and turn right at a particular junction, saying the particular tree there, and then walk down the footsteps, and next to Samaranayaka's house, the Ambalam is there. If Samaranayaka sell this house to a Vikramanayaka, the next person may not be able to find it easily. So this is one place technologically oriented people can help. So I prepared a Google map like this. I did not know there are so many Ambalam in this country before I started doing this study. Ladies and gentlemen, I could trace up to 225 up to now. Some in the north, some in the middle of the country, and some in the down south. So this is a Google map, as you may know. We can prepare our own Google map called My Maps and enter all the details. Now, if I open this to any one of you, I have not opened it yet because it has not published yet. If I open this to anybody, you will be able to click a button and straight away go to the Ambalam without asking anybody. Let me show you that. Hope I will not be so unfortunate to open it when you do it in a public forums like this. The online systems sometimes does not work. Yeah, good. I hope you can see the map. Now, this is the map. This is the map. And these are the locations of Ambalams I located. And if I click any button here, you will see the picture of it and basic information. Of course, these are copied from various sources like internet and published articles. And not only that, if I click the Google Street View, when I click the Google Street View, I know there's a slight delay. Yes. Now, this is the Google Street View of that particular location. So now finding directions are not very, okay, yes. There's somebody messaging, we can say Ambalam Goda. There's Ambalam Goda and Ambalam Thot also, but they're not related to Ambalams according to some of the literature I found. Thank you very much, Enio, for that comment. Yeah, we have a lot of Ambalam. You can say Sri Lanka is with a lot of Ambalams. Anyway, this is a very special Ambalam in Sri Lanka. It is in Jaffna. Right, let me come back to my original slideshow. I wanted to show you live. That is why I moved to that. Yes, this is where I stopped my presentation. So this is a very, very simple thing. I hope you may know how to make your mind map using Google. Either you can go for expensive software like Arc or even a free software. But having a proper location is a very, very vital information for a number of reasons. I'll show you some of those later. So these are the locations of Ambalam. I could trace up to now. I believe there can be another 100 odd Ambalam still existing, and a considerable number of Ambalams were destroyed. destroyed by people, destroyed by the organizers or the government, destroyed by politicians, and people allow it to decay for a number of reasons. I found some of those during my study. Yeah, so with a doubt whether my online system will work, I took some screenshots of the map. Now, this is another important Ambalam called Ratmale Ambalam. It is in down south. This is the only two-story Ambalam in Sri Lanka. And these are the information available. And you can go to the Google Street View also. And when you click the Google Street View, this will be the image you are getting. That I tend to speak slow because I can see there's this time delay in transferring my information into the online system. Right now, what is the purpose of an Ambalam? According to many literature, an Ambalam is a wayside rest generally built by a royal or by a wealthy merchant in the area for those traveling from town to town. When you find some Ambalam, ladies and gentlemen, find they're not closer to roads. Nowhere closer to road. They're in middle of paddy fields. They're middle of jungles. I'll show you some of those slides. And when we visited and interviewed people in the area, they said, yes, there was about 70, 80 years ago. There were no roads. There were no proper roads. You may know road building was banned in the central part of the island. That's for the security of the country. If you had a chance of reading the book written by Thomas Skinner, Major Thomas Skinner, and he says very clearly the road construction was not allowed in the central part of the island for the safety and the security. And the roads should be in highly complicated and difficult paths, allowing only one or two people to cross at a time in certain areas. That is where the soldiers were kept to observe whether there are invaders. And this is something I found in the literature. According to that particular literature, says no one has done a serious study on the origin of the word Ambalam. In Malayalam, it says temple. Anyway, in Sinhala, we call it Ambalama. In Tamil, it is called Madam. In Malayalam, Ambalam is a temple. In Valanjambalam and Ambalam, I do not know how to pronounce it, could also have been the tax collecting center of trading ports. Yes, it is true for Sri Lankans also. There's a big Ambalam in Matale, in Akurana Pradesh Sabha, called Konakalagala. People say King Rajasingha used to visit there and sit there and wait to collect taxes from people. So there are a lot of interesting stories about Ambalam. Anyway, as you know, people like to work on right brain than left brain. We are left brainers. So right brainers have a lot of interest in things like beauty, artistry, etc. So before moving into the technical part, let me show you some of the beautiful stuff in Ambalam. Ambalam can be categorized according to a number of ways as I understood. One is based on the construction material. Some of these are masonry structures. Mind you, a lot of changes happened. So there was no tin sheets in the past. In the past, these Ambalams were covered using either grass thatched or kajan or mainly rice straw thatch. And palm thatch also used as roofing material. Now you can see this Ambalam. This is a very famous Ambalam. Is one in Central Province. This is after decaying of this. Some book says King Dutugamuno visited there. And this is also masonry structure. This is recently built one. Now, of course, about 78 years ago, this is called Appalagoda. This is all masonry structure. These are very big structures. And there are a lot of timber structures. Now, this is called Marasana. According to people, this Marasana Ambalam built here after collecting timber floating on the river. So if you look closely, I included some slides. These corners are different. The artistic, the carvings are different from place to place. And there were no tiles like this in the past. If there were tiles, they were flat tiles. I have some slides to show, or barrel tiles, not this kind of tiles. So this clearly shows people have improved it, but not the main structure. This is timber. So my curiosity in these structures, so these timber are older than 100 years. So the technology we had in the past to preserve timber up to so much is very, very interesting subject to study. And then they have not used any foreign materials like iron or nails or anything. All connections, I'll try to show you some of those, using timber connections. So those are the technologically important materials, important topics to discuss. And this is Karagaha Gedara Ambalama. It's in Kurunegala. Now, this is a typical picture of Ambalam, especially those are made on timber. You can see it is on a rock outcrop. I don't know whether the rock outcrop is clearly visible. And there are 4 boulders in 4 corners. And the 4 corners, these 4 corners are served as a connector from the superstructure to the floor. We still do not know why it has done like that, whether it is to preserve from ant attacks, whether it is to protect from serpents or snakes or serpents, and whether it is because there were small minor tremors in this country. And as engineers, you know, when there is not connected to the earth, it is safe. But this became one of the major problems for the disasters. I'll show you what are those also. And if you look at very closely, the roof is a flat tiles. And this is called Gallinda Ambalama. It is in Gampaha. All 4 columns are stones or granite. Very small. This is only 10 feet by 10 feet. The previous ones are bigger. And the roof is a barrel tile. I don't know whether originally it was barrel tile or any other material. But what I'm mentioning here is about the main structure. And this is called Ambagas Pitya Ambalama. I'm sorry for this delay. The slight delay in... yeah, this is called Ambagas Pitya. It's also closer to this particular place. And this is also made of... the structure is made of stones. And this has beautiful carvings, stone carvings. It's an elephant. And it's a dancer. Right again, oh, sorry, flower, and this is a dancer. And when you look at the history of this Ambalam, people talk about the beauty of it. But as an engineer, as a technically oriented person, my interest is the type of tools people used in these periods to make such a beautiful and sharp and a tiny carvings. So these are some areas for us to study. And among the technologically important studies, this is one very important one for structures. This is called Kanimadala. Kanimadala, that is to collect all the purlins at the center of the building without having any of the center pillars. Those who are experts in structures may know the stability should be maintained here because of the stress 0. I can see the Dean Engineering, Dr. Udit Zanaka here. As a structural expert, he may be able to explain it at the end. So it is one more thing. So just think about the numerical skills, the analytical skills, the technological skills we had in the past to calculate properly the size of the purlins. No. Okay. Right, I heard somebody talking. So this is that. And let me now show you some, special features. That is, this one is this Kanimadala. And this is, this is that previous Ambalam I mentioned, Karagaha Gedara. It's on a rock outcrop on 4 boulders, resting on 4 boulders, and the connected to the ground. Most of the Ambalams are like that, especially if they're made of wood, or if the frame is wood. And this Ambalam is over 150 years old. So still, I could not find the techniques used. There can be, as I said, this is very infantry stage. It's only 3 years old. I'm still reading and I'm still searching. Even last weekend, I went to see one Ambalam in Ambok. Still searching for this. But I decided to share this knowledge with you, expecting you also generate this interest and to have a fair share for technically oriented people also to study about Ambalam. So this is Paragahagedara in Kurunagala. I'm trying to, yeah. So these are some special features. This is how it is rested on large wood planks. For mind you, the size of this about 12 inches or 12 inches or sometimes 18 inches or 8 inches, huge ones. That is probably to bear the whole load and then transfer. And this is something very interesting I noticed in many Ambalams I visited. There are special features. There are board games. Board games. This is called Nerenchi. I do not know whether you know about Nerenchi. It is a board game. This is casted in the rock. So probably during the night, people should have played these kind of games, board games. It's called Nerenchi. And then this was in a wooden Ambalam. Same game. And in closer to many Ambalams, we found a waterway, either a water path or a bathing place. Probably this is for bathing, for travelers. And then closer to many Ambalams, we saw a water dispenser called Pintalia. It was a very fun phenomenon. And this is also a Pintalia. This is Hanguranketa Ambalam. Hanguranketa Ambalam is a very, very special Ambalam. And it has a symmetrical roof, symmetrical in all four directions. This is a big one made of stones. I'm sorry I have to speak slow because my slide movement is very, very slow. I can see some chat messages. Mr. Suran will find it, I hope, the content of it. And another important feature I noticed in Ambalam, anyway, this is not technology. As I said earlier, Ambalams can be considered as a small structure, connected engineering, heritage, technology, social status, etc. In most of the Ambalams, there are 3 sides arranged for seating arrangement. These 3 sides have 3 heights. According to the history I read, the highest one or the tallest one is reserved for the king. And the next one is reserved for the ministers. And the third one, or the lowest one, is reserved for the general public. In other books, it says the highest one is reserved for priests, and the next one is reserved for the high caste people, and the lowest one is reserved for the low caste people. There's Ambalam in Kandy called Dottagumu, I can't remember exactly. Anyway, that has a separate section in the at the out of the Ambalam for low caste people. Low caste people were not allowed to step into the Ambalam even. It's called Godigumu Ambalam. Godigumu Ambalam over 300 years old, I think. It has beautiful wood carvings. And in one time that was used as a slaughterhouse. It is another Ambalam. It clearly shows the height difference of the 3 sides. Highest place for highest side for the priests, the next for the high caste people, and this is for the low caste people. So Ambalams are places to study technology, history, archaeology, social science, etc., etc. So therefore, all the professionals should pay equal attention for this. This is called Narampanava Ambalam. I hope it is clear compared to other slides, the spire, or what is called kotha. In most of the ambalams, you cannot find this part now. Kotha you cannot find. People have removed. And instead of the original ones, now they were replaced by clay spires. Yeah, this also has the same height difference. I'm sorry, this is going very, very slow. And this is sad part of the ambalams. Deterioration due to negligence. This is called Amunugama Ambalam. It's totally neglected. And this is Poramadula Ambalam. This is a very, very old and historically important ambalam, but it is neglected by authorities. So this is where we as engineers as well as socially interested people can get into this. And this is in Biyagama. Still you see Poramadula. This is in Biyagama. This is the current status. And recently I heard that the total space is clean after removing the ambalam. So one of my interests is to contact the closest school and give them a talk and show the importance of ambalam and how the technology, the sociology, the archaeology, the social sciences connected with this, and motivate them to preserve these places. Probably ISS also can do something like that. This is the closest image of the spire. And encroachment is a very, very serious problem. This is called Karalya Dambalam. It's significant due to a number of reasons. One is it is made of wood and it is encroached by a powerful person, and he has left only this portion and built a house. And when I went last time, he has put a fence also here. So I informed the archaeology. I do not know whether the archaeology department has taken any action. So those are the problems. Due to public interests. You can see how much public has encroached into the Ambalam area. And the next problem is illegal occupants. But on the other side, there's a cooperation from the public. In some areas, people really preserve like this. Now, this was in Udwala. And after collapsing this due to a tree falling, one donor seems to have built it immediately. And this is Kandy again. Kamburadini. Kamburadini had a very beautiful ambalam. So people built this to preserve the location. This is also in Kegol, called Nilvakka Ambalama. Because I can see what you see, that is I have to speak slow. Yeah. So, right. Let me come to the latter part to show you the specialties of Ambalam. And another way of engineering input becomes important. I have shown this Ambalam. This is in Jaffna. It's called Terumodi Ambalama. It's in Point Pedro. This is the only Ambalam in Sri Lanka having the Ambalam on both sides of the road, and the road is going in between. This is in Point Pedro. This was renovated anyway. This is not in the original shape. Terumodi, Jaffna, Point Pedro. And this is another important or interesting or special ambalam. It's called Panavitiya. It's in Kurunagala. Hope you can see it is made of wood. I don't know whether you can see the 4 boulders below these columns. And this is the only lock and key ambalam in the country. You cannot visit like other ambalams. You have to get the permission from the archaeology department. You have to go when it's open. And the beauty is, this is considered to be one of the most beautiful ambalams. But I believe this is not the most beautiful ambalam. I have been to another ambalam, much more beautiful than this. But even in this ambalam, almost in all the columns and the beams, you can see beautiful wood carvings. In addition to beauty, as I said earlier, my interest as technologically oriented person to think about the tools, the sharpening techniques they might have had during those days. And this is another interesting story. This ambalam is called Avariable Ambalam. This is Avariable Ambalam. This is the only ambalam available in Sri Lanka with the roofing material as Kajan as a roofing material. It is in Gampaha. Mind you, it is very close to those 2 ambalams I have shown earlier, Gallida Ambalama and the Ambagaspiti Ambalama. And it's very close to a waterway. Originally, this place was called Havariyavala. Now, late it was renamed as Avariyavala. According to the stories, King Walagamba used to visit Rajamaha Vihare close to this ambalam. And while the king visiting the Rajamaha Vihare, the queen used to have a bath here, according to the stories. And one day, she seems to have forgotten her havariya, but used to enlarge your hairstyle. And when she said, for my havariya, somebody seems to have said, havariya valata vatuna. Havariya vala became avariable. So those are stories connected to Ambalam. Right. Now, because of the interest of the public or the residents of this area seems to have attempted to remove all the Kajan and use tiles to cover this. The people who tried were there still. They said they found the structure deforming. So they seem to realize it is too heavy for the structure. Structure is too old. So they said they immediately removed the tiles and recovered using the Kajan. Since they were still interested about the structure, they said they covered the sides to protect from the wind and the moist. They said in high wind, they said they saw the structure was tilting. So they said they removed the side covers also. These are very simple things to engineers. But this is another place where engineers can get involved in this subject. So let me remind you again. Ambalam is a small structure connecting history, archaeology, technology, and sociology and many subjects. So we should demand for our fair share as engineers to protect these structures. These are beautiful structures. As I said earlier, let me show you some beauties. This is called Nattarampota Ambalama in Sirimalwatta. This is in Kandy. The columns are wood. There are a lot of beautiful wood carvings, but somebody seems to have painted it. The beauty has totally gone. And mind you, these animals are not actual animals. The body belongs to one and the head belongs to another. And my interest was the tools, the technology they used to do these carvings. This is Nattarampota. And these are the wood carvings I saw in Panaviti Ambalam. I said Panaviti is considered to be one of the most beautiful Ambalam in Sri Lanka. It is the only Ambalam kept lock and key. And almost in all the columns, you can see some kind of wood carving. But mind you, in all the Ambalams are not like that, especially when you go to Dolapil Ambalam, this continued to be over 500 years old. It's not like that. It has only wood columns. So I do not know what the reason to have these carvings, wood carvings. And these are odd animals. They are not actual animals. These are hypothetical. So that is where the archaeology and the history and other subjects come into picture. Anyway, we were great technologists. According to my judgment, this is the most beautiful small ambalam in the country. It is called Pallepitavala. It is in Ududumpura. Actually, it's a video. I didn't go home even assuming the internet facility in the faculty is better. This was taken using drone. It's a very small one. It has a very, very small road. It's very difficult to reach here. I had to walk almost 2 kilometers after parking the car. So it is a highly remote area. That means these should be the old road network connected Kandy and Mahiyangana. Now these roads are not used because it is so difficult and so narrow. So it reminds me what I read in the Thomas Skinner's book. It was banned building roads connecting to the central part of the island for the security and safety. So these locations prove it. This Ambalam has beautiful wood carvings. Beautiful. Of course, it is not connected to technology directly, but I decided to show it to you. And I strongly recommend, if you have time, to visit it. They're building a road. So if you're interested in going in, if you go in another 4 or 5 months' time, you will be able to go in a vehicle up to this place. Beautiful, beautiful one. Beautiful wood carvings. And the whole Ambalam is connected, all filled with beautiful wood carvings. So my worry here is, my interest here is the techniques people use to preserve this wood. I didn't see any replacement. It's very easy to find whether the wood replaced from the origin or not. So Suran, I will finish soon. So 45 minutes gone anyway. This is another place engineers can get involved in renovation. So this is another important Ambalam. This is in Central Palm. It's called Padivita Ambalam. It's in the middle of a paddy field. Nowhere close. Oh, I can't say. No, there's no road very close to this. It's a little away from A9 road. Matale Kandy Road. It's not A9 road. Actually, A9 road goes the other way. This close to Matale. It's called Padivita. Now you can see when there was a deformation in the structure, how people renovated it using 2 additional columns made of concrete, and demolishing the whole shape, original shape. This is how it looks after renovation. If they consulted an engineer would not have advice like this. It can be probably due to the weight of the roof. As I said, the original roofs were made of light materials like either rice straw thatch or grass thatch or palm thatch or khajan or something, but these are too heavy. So I started modeling these ambalams. We model a number of ambalams. This is Padivita Ambalam after modeling. And my interest is to make a digital twin. It's very expensive. I had a discussion with Mr. Suran whether we can borrow instrument from somebody and do at least one digital twinning. This using Revit, still in an infantry stage. This gives only the shape, but my interest is to get somebody's advice to show the wood carvings also into this. So this is where the technology input can assist, help to protect and promote. We can promote tourism. In fact, I made a few routes called Ambalam routes. I think ISL is going to organize one of those Ambalam routes. I'm going to help them. So it is the 3D modeling. Of course, this is using Revit. Mind you, my students, 2 students spent almost one day, almost 10 hours to collect all the finer details, and we have all the finer details, and we model it. And if you have a digital twin, we will be able to help. Anyway, the Padivit Ambalam is undergoing another renovation now. Can you see this timber column? Now they will have to reproduce the wood carvings. I doubt whether all the details are collected. So we had a point cloud to be there with the 3D scanning. I'm trying to go for a 3D scanning and do a 3D printing to preserve this. This is where technology can come into picture. Yeah, I'm sorry for this slow movement. That is Padivit Ambalam again. They did the same thing to the Keulgam Ambalam. When there was a deformation, as I heard from the authorities, they removed the whole Ambalam and renovated or replaced one column. These are my students who worked in this project. And this is how we have taken details, we numbered using binary number system during photographs. Now I'm coming towards the end of the presentation. Now this is the current status of Karagahagidara Ambalam. Karagahagidara Ambalam is one of the most famous Ambalams. I showed you this number of times. This is due to an illegal passer. There's a paddy field on the other side. One of those large machines called tsunami or something, trying to move without having adequate space. Since this structure is not connected to the ground, when the vehicle hit the structure seems to have rotated. Not very much, but slightly, damaging the stability or destabilizing the structure. Now, when we visited last time, it was like this, but I could not go after that to check whether they have removed these lateral supports or not. The structure at that time was resting with these supports. Very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. These are our identities. It is not only history, it is not only archaeology, it's not only sociology, it is engineering also, it is technology. This gives a clear view of the location. This was taken from the next one I'm talking about. This is a drone view. Well, before concluding, let me be thankful to some of my very close colleagues. I don't know whether he's in the audience. My travel partner. He's my travel partner. He's my batchmate. When I started this project, the kilometer cost was only 40 rupees, and immediately it went up to 150 rupees. So I could not bear that cost for my little grant I had. So he offered his vehicles, not only the vehicle, even the driving. So we traveled to a number of Ambalam at the beginning. He was my travel partner. And this is Dr. Samit. He was my research partner. And I got Samit to help me to do the structural analysis. He was recording one of the Ambalams. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my presentation. I'm sorry for the slow speaking. It is because of the technology. This is some of the interesting books if you're interested in reading about it. 50s in Ceylon by Thomas Skinner. Major Thomas Skinner was one of the responsibilities of building roads in the country. You can read And in the book by Robert Knox, Historical Relation of Ceylon. And this is a book written quite recently, Rajamavat by Mahanama Dunumala. It's in Sinhala. Those who do not speak Sinhala may have a difficulty in reading, but it's a very, very interesting and very comprehensive book. And Sir John Doyle, you may know the story, it is the Candian Kingdom. Vanagata Pasala, it is the blackboard in the jungle, is also about the history of Sri Lanka. And this is the most one of the most comprehensive books available today to read about Ambalam. It was written by Rohita Dasanaik. At the time of writing, he was doctor, now he's a professor. He is the head of history in Peradeniya University. He has written extensive stories about all these Ambalams on historical aspects and archaeological aspects. So my interest is to extend this book, adding technological aspects into this subject. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my presentation. Help to improve the database of Ambalam. If you see any Ambalam in your area, please drop me a message. If possible, give me with the location. That'll be a great help. Any of my students scattered all over the country helping me to improve my database. So with that, let me wind up my speech, Mr. Suran Fernando. Open for discussion or open for any queries or questions. Don't ask me difficult questions. Yeah, don't ask me difficult. Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
So, thank you very much,
Dr.
Dr. Jayarath. So, I am Dr. Sakura Bogoja. I am the secretary of this forum. So, actually, I can see there are a lot of messages, questions, and discussions in the chat box. So, sir, shall we go one by one?
Yes. Up to you. Yes.
Yes. So, Mr. Divanta Ekanayaka, he has mentioned that actually it's a question. So, can you please let us know when will the map of Ambalam will be available to the public?
Well, according to my understanding, there's no this kind of map available. I talked to archaeology. I showed this to archaeology, and they kept their eyes and mouth open for a few seconds. Oh my God, we don't have anything like this. So I have to, I'm sorry to say this, but not selfish, to maintain my ownership and release it. I'll be doing it within few months time, definitely. But if anyone want to know about any Ambalam, drop me a message. I think you will get my contact number and I will straight away give you the location coordinates. You will be able to go there. In addition to that, the information I collected, I can make it available. It's just click of button. It's in the Google. It's in the internet. It's free access. Can give it. Give me another couple of months because my project is coming to end and I'm going to publish all this information in a detailed book, including a coffee table book. I'm looking for a sponsor and I almost found one. That will come with all this map, online map also with a QR code.
So thank you very much, sir. Then Engineer Chandana Vimaladasa, he has dropped this message when you are talking about Karagaha Hena Gedara Ambalama. So he was yes. He has asked us, can I know the type of timber used for there?
Well, I wrote number of letters to archaeology department seeking permission. You may know if you do any damage to archaeological structure, the punishment is very, very severe. I did not get the permission after writing so many letters, and ultimately I contacted the minister at that time. Minister granted me permission, but verbally, not in writing. So one of my interests also to identify this timber, the type of timber, and especially the preservative methods used. So when I talked to experts on this subject, they said you have to bring at least a small piece to check what it is. So I'm sorry to say, I do not know, but I'm looking for some expert's idea. I have photographs, but no samples. So it will be very, very interesting subject. Of course, it has to be class 1 timber, but no idea up to now.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Who asked that question, please, Dr. Sakura?
Engineer Chandana Vimaladasa. Engineer Chandana Vimaladasa, you can also raise your voice. You can ask if you want.
If Engineer Vimaldas, if you're an expert in timber, I'd like to be in contact with you. Because I'm seeking assistance from experts on different topics to collect this information. We should do it, actually. Otherwise, I'll get your contact from Dr. Sakura or Engineer Suran Fernando. Yes, please go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Sakura.
Yeah. Okay, and then Mr. Manoj, he is actually asking about Hambantota district, any Ambalams located in Hambantota district.
Yes. Yeah, yes, they have a couple of. Let me go back to my map and show you. Can you? Well, no, not in Hambantota. This is, I can't say there's no Ambalam. I don't have information. This is the closest. Closest is Tangol.
Kataragama is also having. Is that Kataragama, sir? The top one,
I don't think this is
Matara district.
Yeah, this is Madras.
That is Matara.
Yeah, there is one called, there's one in Kataragama, actually. This is Kataragama.
Yes.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm Nalaka.
Yes,
Can I
yes.
speak to you? Yeah, what I see that why don't we have Ambalam in north, northwest, and east, and north central?
North Central there are. I'm sorry, North Central. No, not in North Central.
Yes.
Not in North Central.
North
There's only
Central,
one Ambalam in North Central.
Northwest.
Northwest, yes. This is the only one, Mahailangamu Ambalam.
Oh, is it been there and it has been destroyed? Or I don't know what it is.
Can be. It can be destroyed. It can be, because I have one more information. This one, Mahakadavala Ambalama. It is destroyed. Destroyed or encroached.
Which province? Which district?
Mahakadavala in Galgamu, close to Galgamu. Can you see the screen?
Galgamu is, of course. Galgamu is...
sorry, northwestern, no?
Yeah, no, Galgamu maybe north central. No,
let me check.
North
Yes.
central. No.
It's north of Galgamu. It's north of. I thought it is north central. It looks
maybe
like
it's Anuradhapura district or somewhere there.
Yeah, Mahakadavala Ambalam. Now that place is encroached or acquired by somebody, and only the pillars are available. Mahagal Kadavala.
And actually, I'm concerned why we such a country, because we had a lot of heritage and lots of you see activities in north, northeast, like a Vilpatu area and Mana area, north and east, but we don't have any Ambalama. That's I think.
Mana, there were a couple of but destroyed. Let me check. I can remember. Yeah. There were a few in this area. I got it from army. I don't know why I did not put it.
Maybe there are some element want to destroy our heritage. That's why.
Yeah, there were some here. When I heard it, I had some contacts with the army, some of my friends, and they sent me photographs. Oh, very unfortunate. I have not included that in my map. I'll do it right away.
I don't know. That's how I am saying. If it is there, it's time to restore. So
yeah, now let me show you one interesting Ambalam in north. It was not restored. Yeah, this one. I think this one. Yeah.
Yeah, Professor, there were a lot of, I don't know right now, Well, some about 5-6 years ago, there are enough money in our cultural fund to
Yeah, okay.
upgrade this thing. Now I don't
Yeah.
know whether we have money there, but the thing is, I think that we should encourage people to restore even whatever it is there.
Exactly. Yeah, my interest is actually to do a 3D scanning and preparing a 3D image, and if possible 3D printing, to print 3D and preserve it. Whenever want to restore, to take that as an help. This is Siriappa, madam. It's almost demolished. This is in Jaffna. This beautiful one. Beautiful carvings there. Yeah, it's partly actually hobby, partly technically interested subject. So I could travel a lot because of this. So I invite you to pay special attention. Actually, there were few. Now this completely destroyed. This one, Sante madam. My luck is actually there are a lot of students coming, and one year I gave them an assignment to find the closest engineering-wise important building in their premises and collect information under a subject called measurements. Collect measurements. Yeah. So, well, if anybody, yeah.
Yes,
Please go
then
ahead.
shall we move to the next one, sir?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Samit, he has actually mentioned about actually, I think he is from the University of Moratu. So he he has mentioned here the three different levels used. The Ambalam was actually kings and aristocrats and ordinary people, and also especially he has mentioned that royal people were used Panavitiya junction.
Because they have been
Yeah. And then the Mr. Ranjit Tabru, he has asked to whom does these ambulams belongs at present, and who is responsible for the day-to-day maintain these ambulams? Are there any sanitary facilities at these places?
According to my best of my knowledge, if any ambalam is over 100 years old, it belongs to archaeology department. An archaeology department has assigned people through the Grama Sevaka in most of the places to keep it clean. No sanitary facilities I found anywhere, but the bathing facilities are there. In close to almost all the ambalam, there's a bathing facility, but no sanitary facilities. Probably people should have used various techniques those days to cover up that requirement. There's no. Because I should have visited closer to 50 ambalam, not more than that. I believe I should have visited over 50. I have not seen anywhere sanitary facilities, but other facilities were there. Bathing facilities were there, and then relaxing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And Mr. Ruan Edirisinghe, he has asked about 3 questions. So the first one, what is the philosophy of engineering grounded in these rest stop in past era?
Engineering?
Engineering philosophy.
Well, can it be well, some people think it is the distance between two ambalam. So I checked whether there's a fixed distance between two ambalam. You see now, this is how it is scattered. Because thinking how much people or how many miles or how many kilometers today can walk, etc. I have not seen any such in this. And then I try to check whether they considered the wind pattern and whether they considered the direction of the sun movement, etc. I did not see any of those also. Wherever I visited, I took the direction of that is. What would be the engineering philosophy? No, I have to think about it. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, is it engineering? Anyway, there's a belief. No, it's not engineering actually. It is the astrology actually. People believe it is not good to live in a place with a Kanimadala. So these places, it's not engineering, no, it's not engineering philosophy, sorry. So these places were built with Kanimadala because it is not safe to live in a Kanimadala place. It being the sing. So people live casually and go, but we found in many Ambalams scavengers are living. So yeah, engineering philosophy. Let me think about it. Yeah, probably before the next presentation. Thank you very much for the question and awakening that idea. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot of things to clarify from the history, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and then again, Mr. Rohan has mentioned about how to transfer these ancient concepts to modern sustainable infrastructure, nationally and globally.
Yeah, most of these locations are very, very soothing, actually, environmentally friendly location. I went to a place called Ambok was it last Friday? I think, yes, last Friday. When you sit inside the Ambalam, you see beautiful mountains, etc. So as I said, I did not see these Ambalams were considered when they selected the directions. They have considered about the sun path of the sun or the sunrise, etc. But most of these are open structures, so that might not have affected a lot. And even the wind pattern might not have affected a lot because all those are open structures, not the closed structures. But these are very, very environmentally friendly and soothing locations. So when you go to an Ambalam, you feel like sitting there for a few minutes. So probably this can be used for future. Anyway, I saw Chandana from CECB was there. I believe that Chandana is the Chandana I know personally. There are projects in the country to promote trekking. In those trekking places, I heard that CCB has identified few places to build small structures similar to Ambalam for people to rest. So that can be one place to use the ancient technology, ancient idea, ancient knowledge to probably transfer into today's world.
Okay, thank you, sir. And then Mr. Samit, he has asked about engineering aspects like nailing, and then what is the structural stability of Ambalams, like that kind of structural the performances of Ambalams. Have you ever studied of those things?
Well, my research partner is Samit. Samit is an expert in structures. Anyway, as I said during the presentation also, we have not seen any foreign materials used. They use very interesting wooden connection methods. According to the connections, we can see when there's loading, it's straightened further rather than separating. So yes, the lot to learn in timber structures from Ambalam, especially Ambalam made of wood, especially wooden connections. I took very close images of those because of the time restriction. I have not included. If that is Mr. Samit, no, if you want, I can provide you some of the information we collected. Yeah, stability wise, they are stable structures. And as I said, the wooden Ambalams were not connected to the ground. Still, we do not know what the reason. I could not find what the reason for that. As I said, it can be to protect from ants. It can be protect from serpents. It can be probably thinking about minor tremors to have a stability. But they are well stable. These failures are not because of stability. It is because of lack of maintenance. The Ambalams like Biagama, and then the Amunugama, and then Koramadul, etc. Not because of structural problem, according to my little knowledge in structures. It's because of poor maintenance. But structurally, yes, please, Ms. Samit.
Yeah, I am Professor of Architecture, Samita Manavadu.
Hello. I'm sorry. I couldn't recognize you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Professor Samit.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what I actually, when I was listening to the lecture,
yes,
I thought that as an engineer, you will discuss the technological aspects of the building.
Yeah.
Because there are so much of technology behind it. And I really wanted to listen to the technological aspect which was missing from the lecture. Right? Yeah. Because in Ambalama, like Panaviti and Karagahagedara, there are 4 columns in 4 groups in 4 corners. And then none of the Ambalama, they use nails for construction fixed in the timber members. Always it is the traditional technology. And then I think previously also I raised the question in different form, and then the Dr. Sakura interpreted it in another way, not the way that I raised the question. You will be able to see the question later on, because I have studied the Ambalam a lot, and then my students are frequently measuring the Ambalamas, and we have published a lot of books, and unfortunately you have missed all these books. And then some of the books you may be able to find from the Barefoot or famous the Sri Lankan publishers. Some of our former students and present lecturers have published books on Ambalama, very especially architectural aspects covering engineering part also. Right. So anyway, when I got the message from a friend of mine, I listened to the lecture, expecting to listen to the technological aspects of the Ambalama, which was missing in your lecture. I think you may have to improve that part.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Amit. Thank you very much for your comment. I really appreciate it. Yeah. In fact, considering about the time, yes, I wanted to do it a mixture. And so unfortunate, I have not seen. Actually, I searched.
Even Dr. Chandrasekhar, our deputy Vice Chancellor, published a book on Sri Lankan Ambalama, and it is sold at $40, but I think it's costing something like $40.
Right.
Maybe available in Barefoot. It was published abroad along with Professor Kapila De Silva of the Kansas University. They two together published this book, the Ambalama.
Right, and I will definitely look for that.
Yeah, Professor Nimal De Silva also has written several books on the Ambalama, and we are giving the students to measure Ambalama and produce drawings as measured drawings. And we generally published once a year a calendar containing all these Ambalamas. And then you said that archaeology department people were surprised to see your map. But you know, in Panaviti Ambalama, behind that Ambalama, there's a wall in which a map of Sri Lankan Ambalamas are drawn, altogether containing 212 Ambalamas. I am not sure whether the archaeology, actually it was composed by the Department of Archaeology sometime back, and they are adding the new, when they discover new Ambalamas, they are, enriching the list.
Yeah. Sorry, I apologize for that word I used when I said the archaeology department, not everyone actually, the people who dealt with me. Yes, I have been to Panaviti. I have seen that map. Let me show you if I...
No, you should have consulted, there are two architects. One is the Deputy General Prasanna Ratnayaka.
I spoke to Mr. Prasanna,
he
was very helpful.
Yes. So they were the architects, and one of them was the Deputy Director General. So they are aware of the list.
Mr. Prasanna was very, very helpful. Who is the other one, Professor Amit, you said?
Other one is, he's an architect, Deepal Vijaytilaka. He's the Director Procurement.
Okay, I did not come across that name.
Both of them are my students.
Okay. Yeah, I contacted Mr. Prasanna. He was very, very helpful. He helped me a lot.
He's having the full list of Ambalamas. And then there's another scholar called Dr. Gamini Vijaysurya. He's from Kurunegala, and he was the former Director Conservation of the Archaeology Department. He also has kept record on Ambalamas a lot.
Okay. Actually, I read the book by Professor Rohita, he's a historian, and then another book written in Central Province. And all these books give a narration, actually. That is what I said.
Really narration.
Not to hurt anybody, not to devalue anybody's.
No, I know that.
You know now, Panaviti, yes. I saw this map. In fact, to me, it was not that easy to locate. That is
it is very difficult to locate, because it's a map, a very superficial map, but containing 212 Ambalamas. Majority of them are in the northwestern province, right? Majority of those Ambalamas are northwestern province, and this year we have 100 architecture students, so we have dispatched them to search for new Ambalama in north central province and drew them for the next calendar.
Okay. If you can see the screen, probably this is the map you are referring
to. This is the map.
Yeah.
So they are enriching
the map. 200 plus.
Yeah.
But Yeah, like this. Yeah, probably this can be Mahalangam one.
Yeah, you can see a lot in
Yeah.
Kurunegala.
Yeah, I collected almost all, I think almost all in Kurunegala. But
Yeah.
to me with this, it was a bit tough to find the location and go. But I
No, it's very
this,
difficult to find the locations.
Yeah. Now with the latest technology, giving the latitude and longitude, and in the street view and the direction, that is how I am going to publish the one I said. That is what they said when I showed to some. I mean, it's not to downgrade what they were doing. I mean, they have a lot of, they helped me a lot. The archaeology department helped me a lot when I said, and but unfortunately, they have not responded to any of the letters I wrote seeking permission.
Yeah, it is very difficult.
Yeah, it was not ultimately I
they
had to
are
contact
not, they are
the
not
minister.
Responding. Yes.
Yeah. So I truly value your concerns. Actually, I wanted to combine all this, not only the structural aspects, the roads, etc. But I take your point very seriously. I will consider about it. There's another chance to make a presentation. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Very nice to listen to you. Yeah, and I'll get your names and I'll try to read those books definitely. I'll find the books. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Amit. So, and then shall we move to the next one, Dr.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, and Dr. Tinesh, he has asked that is there any connections between Ambalams and Sumatangi? Sumatangi means actually it is a load bearing stones, I think. So he has mentioned the link also. Shall I?
Yes, please. Yeah. I have not heard that word. Yes.
Sumatangi. So I'm sending the links.
Okay. Dr.
Tinesh, if you are in the audience, Yes.
Hi, Dr. Jalil. This is Dinesh.
Hello.
Yeah. Just to say, I'm one of your students from 04 batch. So
okay, hello.
Nice
to see you. Yes.
So this is like especially in upcountry and South India, they have something called Sumaidangi. It's just for, it's just to rest their weight. So when people carrying stuffs, they use these structures called Sumaidangi. It's a Tamil word. It exactly translates to where you put your weight. So I just want to check, is there any historical connection between Sumaitangis and Ambalams?
Oh, well, this is the first time I got the connection. I am seeing it. Is that building also a part of it, or only the wooden?
So I have seen in some places where they have a adjacent structure. But the main thing is that Sumaitangi, where they just put their weight, especially in like up countries when they hold like these heavy loads, they need some place to keep it. Rather than bending down and picking it up. But I have seen adjacent small structures.
Yeah, when we talk about these three different levels of seating arrangement in Ambalam, of course in the north it's called Madam. Somebody said those three heights were set to unload their loads from their shoulder and to take it easily. So when I see this, probably it also can be due to that. But in other books it says it is not for unloading. It is to allow seating arrangement for high caste, low caste, and priests and kings, etc. So that connects to what you say. Actually, when I look at the structure you sent me, it is in the height of a person's shoulder to unload it and take it. I'm sorry, I have not seen this earlier. Yeah, I will take that also into the list of the things to study. Yeah.
Sure.
Where is this? Can you find the location also, my Tangi stones? Or probably the GPS. Coordinate. There are a lot of few things. Are there a few like that? Okay, this is the first time I heard about it. Thank you for giving that information.
Thank you.
So, sir, in that document shared by Dr. Tishan, at the end it has said Sumatangi was also an integral part of Ambalam built in Jaffna. So,
Okay, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Dr. Tishan. Dinesh, and then there is another question from Mr. Vipul. Is there an Ambalam at, no, there is an Ambalam at Vigo, Vegua in Nilpanagoda, Minuangoda. So, Mr. Vipul, are you there in the audience with us now? So, oh, okay, maybe.
Minuangoda, there's one called Vego Ambalam. I don't know whether.
Vego, yes, yes.
Yeah.
He's mentioning about Vego, yes.
Yeah.
And then
Vego
again, yes, again, sir, Mr. Manoj is asking whether the map is available for us. And then I think you have given the answer.
Yeah,
So,
we will get it.
so I think engineer Chandana Vimaladas is with us now, because
Yeah.
he's again asking about the type of woods used. Engineer Chandana, because the doctor has already given the answer. It is not actually not clarified. We can't get the samples from the.
Yeah, probably Samit may have it. Looks like they are studying Ambalam for a long time. Actually, I started after this COVID and with the interest of all road network, etc. Looks like Samit may have an answer to that. I'm still searching for assistance from somebody to identify this timber and timber preservation and timber forming, etc., etc. Yeah. If Samit is
Yes, Professor.
in the audience, we can get
actually,
this
the timber has not properly identified, but most of the timber were either kumbuk or satin. Most of the timber that they have used, because
satin I did not see. Kumbuk, yes, can be.
Because kumbuk is the mostly used one, but the smaller sections were mostly satin. Because satin were available in plenty. I mean, 50 years back we had a lot of satin, but now of course that's a scarce resource. Correct. Anyway, the kumbuk is the other timber.
Yeah.
So again, engineer Chandana Vimaladasa, he has asked about the dimensions of the ambalams. So can we have rough, like brief? What is the biggest one and what was the smallest one?
The biggest ambalam I saw was Hangurang Khet, I believe. I think it is Hangurang Khet one. Hangurang Khet one should be about 45 feet by 45 feet. The smallest one can be 10 feet by 10 feet. Gallinda Ambalam, etc. very small. Gallinda is very small, and then Ambukka very small. So that is the range.
Yeah.
Biggest one, let me think. Yes, let me Appalagoda and Hangurang Khet. Yeah, I think Hangurang Khet can be the biggest one. And then there's another one in Trikilagaskade. All the others are very, very small. All the others are smaller than that. This Karagahagedara, Panavit, etc. smaller than that. Yes.
Okay. So then what about have you ever studied about the dimensional ratios between the length and width and the height? So
no, we measured almost all the ambalam, length, width, height, etc. But no, not yet.
No, not there. Okay. So one more question from me. So
yes, please.
So actually we now we know that we have okay, then okay. So one more question from the audience. So I will
yes,
give the
please.
priority for this one. So is there any reference documents with which can collect the structural details of Ambalam from Rajini Sirivardhana, Miss Rajini Sirivardhana?
I did not find this. I said I searched where possible and I purchased and I got wherever I found a book written after I started interest on this. To my best of knowledge, no, I did not see. There can be, but what I'm saying is I could not find. I did not come across. But if there's any allied to your speeches, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Then my question.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, please.
my question is that, sir, yes, then now we know that Ambalam is in Sri Lanka and it has a long history and so on. So is there any this kind of structures in other countries in the world?
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
So same purpose?
Yeah, for the same purpose, yes. The lot in India, the lot in China. Yeah, I have a friend in China. When I said him, I do a study like this, he said it's available in China and is available in India. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, sir. So if there are no more questions, if there are questions still in the audience, yes, someone from again. So Mr. Pereira, I believed Ambalama was a common piece of temporary resting place for the traveler. You mentioned that the seating that structures built according to the social categories. Yes, we were talking about this one. So, okay, that was only a comment. And if there are no more comments and questions from the audience, so we can wrap up the things. So here, I would like to give the vote of thank for the audience and also for sir. And first, I would like to thank our presenter, Dr. Jayalat Edrisinghe, for presenting a very specific topic called Ambalama, and where we heard from our childhood, and then it is actually we have heard, but for me, I have only seen one Ambalama, but it is just a word for me. So now we know there are a lot of things to study, and structural and performance and material wise, there are a lot of things that we have to explore about our national our heritage history. And then so I think our Dr. Jayalat Edrisinghe will have more informative sessions with us in near future also, because actually I know that history we are actually predicting and we are exploring. It is very difficult. We have a lot of barriers and we have to there are stories and everything. Okay, so it is something a very huge task, and thank you very much, sir, presenting here, but you have now. And then I especially like to thank our audience because it was informative. They were talking about a lot of things, answering questions and sharing their knowledge. So it is this session was a very informative session because of the audience. So I would like to say thank you, big thank for the audience. And then I would like to thank our National Engineering Heritage Forum members to organizing such an event, and also our IESL staff because they are always with us to organize these events, and especially for the technical support and so on. And also, I would like to talk about our National Engineering Heritage Forum a little bit. Actually, this is a multitasking group. There are different engineers from different specialization areas, and we are working together actually to explore our history in the engineering point of view. So I would like to invite you all. There are not only engineers, there are other professionals also. So you can join with us, especially we have field visits and webinars, research studies. I hope you will join with us. If you really like to join with us, so please drop us a message, and so we will let you know. We will add you to our groups, and we would like to work with you. So from there, I would like to conclude again. I'm saying a big thank to all of you, especially Dr. Jaya Tedrisinghe and the audience. So okay, then we can wrap up everything. And once again, hoping to see you all in another session with us as the National Engineering Heritage Forum of IESF. Thank you very much. So
Thank you, Dr. Sakura. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share whatever I know little about this Ambalam. It's very, very interesting, actually. Thank you. Hope to see you again.
Okay, thank you. So those who are who likes to join with us, I'm dropping my mobile number here, so you can message me. Or maybe you can message on WhatsApp. So I will add you to the group. Okay. Okay.